What's up, YouTube? Wanted to do a discussion today. Today I wanted to talk about the 5 things that yo-yo players in the yo-yo community need to stop doing immediately. So let's get into it. So, number 1. The first thing yo-yo players and people and just kids and whatever in the yo-yo community need to stop doing immediately is begging for free yo-yos. So this happens to me often enough, and in all honesty, I give away tons of yo-yos, like tons and tons and tons. In this last month, I would say between February and now, I've probably given away 50 yo-yos. It's a lot of yo-yos, right? Like, I mean, a lot of them were contests. Like, we did East Coast Masters, we did the Fixed Axle February, and, you know, we got a lot of sponsors to give a lot of yo-yos. But at the same time, like, I try to give away yo-yos, try to give kids yo-yos if you come to club, or if something happens to your yo-yos, try to give away yo-yo string. I try to share the wealth as best as I can. I will tell you, though, I have never given anybody a yo-yo who's just like, hey, can I have a free yo-yo? Or somebody who's just like, hey, can I have a free shirt? Can I have a free this? Can I have a free that? No. The answer is always going to be no. I do tons of contests, lots of them, in fact. Enter. In fact, if you were somebody who I had seen enter a contest and who was a regular subscriber and a regular commenter and a frequent, just like, person who I interacted with, I'd probably give you something. But the fact that, like, it's this random that I've never heard of before, and you're saying, hey, can I have free stuff? The answer is no. I'm happy to give things away to people who I know, or people who are in the community, or people who are just, like, pretty consistent commenters and contributors to what I'm doing. But I'm not just going to give random things away to random people. It's just not, it's just bad for business, you know? And I feel like most other companies kind of go this way as well. Like, they're just not going to just, like, hand out yo-yos for no good reason to somebody who they've never heard of. Now, if you're somebody maybe who has a large Instagram following, or a YouTube following, or you enter contests a lot, or you're just a cool dude, or a kid going to club and just trying your best, yeah, those are the types of people who are like, you know, you're absolutely somebody's gonna hand you a yo-yo at some point. I'm not saying it's gonna be the greatest yo-yo ever, but somebody's absolutely gonna hand you something at some point. And they ought to, because we're trying to build this community and grow this community. But don't just come out and be like, can I have a free yo-yo? Because most of the time the answer is gonna be no, and that's going to turn people off to you. It's very similar in the way of, like, where people would just be like, hey, will you sponsor me? A lot of companies say that, like, if you just come out and ask, oh, can I be sponsored? Can I have a sponsorship? I mean, most companies are going to tell you no, because that's just not how that works, and it's never been how that works. And it's the same way with free yo-yos and getting yo-yos and stuff. If you want a yo-yo that you didn't pay for, enter a contest, go to a contest, just try to be integral with the community. Most of us are cool enough guys that, like, if we see you're doing good things, and, like, you're doing of good things is growing the community, if we have extra yo-yos, we will probably toss you one. Just because we think you're cool. And I'm not the only person to say that. I have met literally everybody else who has an abundance of yo-yos does that. Every person that I've met that has that will do that and does do that. But don't just ask for things without working for it. Because if you're trying to build the community, and you need an extra yo-yo to do that, we'll totally provide that. But if you're just asking for free stuff, you're not going to get that. So that's number 1. Don't beg for free yo-yos. Number 2, things you need to stop immediately. Buying not real yo-yos. I've harped on this before, so I'm not going to go into it as much, but the real yo-yos are from companies and from manufacturers and from just, you know, sales, online sites and things that actually support the community. So if you're buying yo-yos from Yo-Yo Expert, Yo-Yo Best Buy, Yo-Yo Sam, you know, La Tienda del Yo-Yo, Toy Mania, Spin Gear, Rewind, Yo-Yo Store Rewind, Yo-Yo USA, the companies that are actually affiliated with members of the yo-yo community who sponsor contests, who carry, yo-yo factories and CLYWs and stuff like that. And and a lot of the boutique guys too, G Squared, One Drop, I guess we'll call One Drop a boutique, although they're all over the place. One Drops and stuff like that. Buy real yo-yos from real yo-yo companies. Now, all of these aren't expensive. I would say Top Yo is a real yo-yo company. They have inexpensive yo-yos that are great. Magic Yo-Yo is a real yo-yo company. They have inexpensive yo-yos that are great. Same thing with like Vosoon and Yo-Yo Officer and stuff like that. They have real yo-yos and they sponsor contests. Some of them, their companies are stationed overseas, but they do a lot of sponsoring and community work overseas, and that's important too. Like, it's not just an American-based thing. Like, it's important to support people overseas as well. But when I see kids a lot of times lately throwing this crappy Sidekick Pro that's just spammed on Amazon, or a lot of these crappy Bee-Boo yo-yos, these are not real yo-yos from not real companies. Go and buy a Duncan. Go and buy a Yo-Yo Factory. Go and buy a Top Yo. Buy a Magic Yo-Yo. Buy a Recess. Buy a G Squared. Buy a One Drop. Buy something from a real yo-yo company. Take that $15, $20, $30. Spend it on a company that actually supports contests and actually supports the community. Don't buy these crappy yo-yos. Don't buy these knockoff yo-yo recreations and take them to contests. Seriously, nothing grinds my gears more, nothing infuriates me more than seeing that happen when somebody uses a knockoff yo-yo in a contest that was sponsored by all of these real yo-yo companies. It's a slap in the face, and I don't even think that person should have been allowed to compete with that. But that's just me. So, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. Because in any other community, in any other hobby, that would be so taboo, and that person would be just freaked out upon. But we let things like that slide in the yo-yo community, and I don't think we should. So we need to, not only do we need to stop buying not real yo-yos, we need to stop letting that slide, because it's not okay. It's not okay at all. There's not enough money in this community, and we don't need people spending money on not real yo-yos, taking more money out of the community, giving it to people who don't give a crap about us. Buy real yo-yos from real yo-yo companies. It pays off in spades. I promise you that. I can tell you that from a first-hand experience. Number 3, stop complaining about stock. So, best example is when G Squared sells out in, 1 second. And then somebody gets salty on Facebook about how they just really wanted a G Squared. And then they didn't get one. And they get all mad about it, like, I quit and I'm not even going to try this anymore and F this. And it's like, there's other companies, but it's like G Squared is probably the most prominent of like sell out like that. But it happens with other yo-yos too, with other companies, but this is probably the most like extreme circumstance of it. And what you don't understand is that like I said before, there's really no money in this. Like, it's a passion, and there are maybe a handful of guys who can actually make a livelihood doing this, and a lot of them are not guys that have families and do stuff like that. So when you're asking somebody like G Squared to like, oh, just up what you have, just do more, what you're asking him is like, oh, just quit your day job and ignore your family so that I can buy your yo-yo. Try next time, and there's always going to be more yo-yos, and there's always going to be another drop. Just try next time, and it'll work out for you. So, but don't get salty if you miss a yo-yo drop. It happens. Happens to everybody. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. So wait till next time. There'll probably be another yo-yo drop. You'll probably get to get a yo-yo, and it'll probably be okay. So, quit crying about that. But the next thing, and this kind of goes along with the other thing, is sort of crying poor, not because you don't have money, because that's like, if you don't have money, it's like, I understand. But crying poor as like sort of the end of an argument about stuff like this. So to give you an example is to say, if you complain like, oh, well, I didn't get this G squared and it's really hard and I've been trying to get one for months and blah, 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 but I live overseas and whatever, and somebody suggests to you, well, just have somebody get you one at a contest. Jake sponsors a lot of contests he goes, and, for better or worse, like, they don't sell out at contests. You have a better chance of getting one. Just get somebody to go and pick you up one and ship it to you. They then cry, well, but then I can't afford the shipping and the customs fees and all this other crap. And it's like, but you would have paid those if you'd have actually got the drop in the first place. You'd have paid you'd have paid shipping, and you'd have probably paid for some kind of customs fee, because that's just how that works. And so you never actually got a G squared or high-end boutique yo-yo that sells out real quick anyway, because you'd have had to pay a customs fee anyway, and that would have made it so that you can't afford it. So what are you actually asking about? And this kind of also goes along with like buying the not real yo-yos, is that there are people like, well, I can't afford that one, and so I got the knockoff. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe you can't afford a $250 yo-yo recreation, but is that going to make you a better yo-yo player than, a $50 or hell, even a $35 top yo Silenus? Is that going to make you a better yo-yo player? No, it's not. I can tell you it's not. Period. It will not, unless you are the upper echelon, top tierest yo-yo player ever who needs every last, to be able to pull and use every yo-yo to its every last advantage. And there's not that many of those people. And honest to God, if you were that yo-yo player, you were already getting those yo-yos for free anyway, because you were already sponsored. So, crying poor, especially in a community that is so giving and so inexpensive really to be a part of. Like, you can have a $45 shutter and win Worlds with it, because Gentry Stein did that. And not to say he's like an average player or something, but it's like, it's a perfectly adequate yo-yo to do that. And I mean, if you can't scrounge up $45 or $50 for like a yo-yo that you could win Worlds with, I mean, maybe you just need to reassess your priorities, because maybe that's like not, I don't know, if that's like a big expenditure, it's like, I don't want to like belittle people who don't have money or who don't but I mean, we're not talking about like hundreds of dollars here. We're talking about a sub $100 piece of metal that's a toy, and you really only need one of them and some strings, and then be like, well, I can't afford all these other extracurricular. It's like, well, then what? You couldn't afford the boutique, high-end, $100 and some yo-yo in the first place, or why buy a knockoff? Just buy a real yo-yo and get used to that yo-yo instead. They're just as good. You're going to do just as well. So you paid $50 for a knockoff yo-yo recreation, where you could have paid $50 for a real yo-yo factory, and it would have literally served you just as well. It just wasn't, a knockoff yo-yo recreation, so it actually helped sponsor the contest. But, I don't know. So, crying poor, at least in that regard, to me, needs to stop immediately. And if I get a bunch of hate in the comments for that, you just didn't listen to my whole spiel about it. So, listen better. But anyway, maybe that's another video for another day. But the last thing and the fifth thing that people need to just stop complaining about, and this is sort of, I'm talking about this because it happens every year, but it hasn't happened yet this year, so maybe we will, is stop complaining about the judging and or contest results at contests. Seriously, quit it. It happens every year, and every year somebody's like, oh, that person shouldn't have won. It should have gone to this other guy because I liked his freestyle better. And it should have gone to this guy because I liked his freestyle better. But literally, there are rules. And there's guys up there with a button that clicks. And you click, 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 click the button. And when you mess up, you unclick the button. And these guys are really good at it. I can tell you from experience and from meeting these guys, from watching them do it, they're really good at it. It's not a like, oh man, ref in the NFL, you suck. Like, we actually have better judged contests than NFL football games or NHL hockey games are refereed. But every year, somebody complains, or a ton of people complain, that their favorite player didn't win a very special contest. And it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. The guys who judge really know what they're doing, especially at the contests that these things are complained about. Like, I'm sure there's regional or like local contests that are judged poorly, but national and like world contests are not. And it's ridiculous because it happens every year, and somebody's like, well, I like this one the best, so it should have won, and those judges have no idea what they're talking about. It's like, who are you? These judges have like years and years of experience, and they're doing their best. Hate the game, not the player. And sometimes some players just play the game better than others. And, right now, that guy is Shihan Araya, but there's been other guys through, Yoyo history who just play the game better, and they get the clicks better. Maybe you like watching other guys play better. I like watching other guys play better, but at the same time, there's guys that just score more points. And it's not maybe as fun to watch when they score all those points, but they are wrecking your face. That's going to do it for me today, guys. Those are the 5 things that the Yoyo community needs to stop doing immediately. Some of these are like prejudged things, but we just need to quit it. We need to be better. We always can be better, and we can be better, because you guys are better. If you've watched this long, you're better. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. I do videos just about every day. Took a couple days off because I was a little burned out. East Coast Masters really kicked my butt, but I'm feeling good today. I'm back. I'm back. So we're gonna be back on track. Probably won't be a video on Monday, but watch this anyway. And we'll be back on normal schedule coming on Tuesday, and we're just gonna keep rolling from there. Got a lot of good things to review. A lot of good stuff to talk about. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.